We're now going to look at the various applications that run within MPStackware. So within applications we have Snapshot and we have tools. Looking at the snapshots, we can see all of the snapshots that are currently present in the system. In this system we have none, so let's add a snapshot. The snapshot has a name, snapshot 1, a retention policy, which basically is how long we keep the snapshot for, whether it's locked, kept for a period, or none. Every snapshot needs a buffer size, so in this case we'll specify 10 gigs as the buffer size, and we'll say that when the snapshot reaches 10 gigs we'll re-provision an additional 10 gig. We also can specify whether the snapshot is Windows compatible or not. Snapshots for Linux or Unix systems do not require this button to be clicked, but a snapshot for Windows compatible does. So I'm going to say that this snapshot will be used in a Windows environment. Automatic export means that if the snapshot is created, that it will be automatically exported as a volume. The default is it is not exported. So finally is the schedule of when the snapshot occurs. I can set a start date, and then I can say whether that snapshot repeats once, hourly, daily, weekly, or monthly. So I'm going to set up a monthly snapshot, and my time will be 12. So now I set up a snapshot. Noon every month on the 14th, and my end date will be up to March. Once having created the snapshot, I then need to specify on which volume I'm going to make the snapshot. In this case, we only have one volume configured, so I'll select LV1. And the buffer space from which to take space from, I'll specify that can come from RAID 1. So this is my overall panel. My snapshot is SS1, retention policy is locked, buffer size 10. At 90% of that buffer size, it's going to re-provision another 10 gigs. The start time will be January the 14th. It'll be on the 14th of every month, and it'll end in April. So now I see I have indeed created a volume. And notice that the creation date currently is 0 because I haven't yet hit the time at which the snapshot will be taken. In the tool section, I have 3 sub-menus: System Log, IOC Tools, and Diagnostic. Looking at the System Log, this gives us a view of the internal log of the system. This can be useful in support environments where a portion of or the entire system log can be cut, pasted, and emailed if the system support team requires. Looking at the IOC tools are the I/O controller tools. The I/O controller tools are used for setting up, in the case of SAS ports, whether the SAS port should be a target initiator, a by 1, a by 4, or by 8 wide port, and in the case of Ethernet ports, setting up the IP configuration, whether ports should be bonded or not. So if we look here at the SAS/IO tool, we can see that the installed device, which is a SAS3801E, has got 2 ports, port 0, port 1. The current port width is 4 on each of those ports, and one of those ports is set to target initiator mode and another is set to initiator mode. I can quite simply choose the port I want and select an action, such as reset the by 4 port back to a by 1, or alternatively I could change the initiator mode from, say, initiator to target or target initiator. So this is the usage of the tools the IOC tools. So to recap, it allows you to set the port width to 1, 4 or 8 and to select whether a port is in target mode or initiator mode. And finally, diagnostics. Diagnostics is typically done in conjunction with the support team, whereby the support team will send you a source URL for a diagnostic test to be run. Input the URL into the source URL box, click Next. This will then execute that diagnostic test and send the result to MPStore. And finally, diagnostics. Diagnostics is typically done in conjunction with the support team, whereby the support team will send you a source URL for a diagnostic test to be run. Input the URL into the source URL box, click Next. This will then execute that diagnostic test and send the result to MPStore.